I had a Jewish boyfriend. That always helps. It was shortly after I joined the Royal Shakespeare Company. He was with the Royal Shakespeare Company as well. He was a very important person in my life. I was with him for about 4 years, but he taught me a great deal, and I'm very grateful to him. We both joined Peter Brook's group and traveled through Africa doing experimental work. And then we were in Paris, we were here in America with this experimental theatre group. And then after we'd finished all of that, that was a year's work, it was only about 6 months after the Six-Day War. So we're talking about 68, 67? Yes. And at that time, the kibbutzes were still up and running and working, and we thought it would be just a great adventure to go and work on a kibbutz for 2 weeks or a month, and then travel around Israel. And it was a wonderful time to see Israel because it was obviously not nearly as developed as it is now. It was raw, and the wonderful, noble history of kibbutz and kibbutzniks was still very much alive. We were only there 2 weeks actually because Bruce really wanted to travel. I was very happy on the kibbutz. We were, as they said, tourists. You were called tourists. They had a system where foreigners could come and work. You worked with a kibbutznik, and it was a kibbutz called Ha'on.
By the Sea of Galilee.
Yes, very, very near the Jordanian Heights. I worked picking grapes. No, not picking grapes, combing grapes. I was out there combing the grapes. Just me and one kibbutz boy, and he had a walkie-talkie. I didn't speak Hebrew, and I could hear a lot of sort of shouting going on down the walkie-talkie. But I'm out there, I'm combing it. There's just me and him, and I'm just combing away, like row after row after row. And I keep hearing, and I sort of look up, and there are these little puffs of white smoke, on the hills, because we're right up against the, the Jordanian hills, the Golan Heights, exactly. And so I was shouting on the walkie-talkie, and eventually it's time to go home back to the kibbutz to find out that the whole of the rest of the kibbutz had been down in the bomb shelter all day morning because we were being bombed by the Jordanians. Only they were like miles away. I was like right there. And the young boy, was very gung-ho about defending Israel and said, no, I'm not going down there. I'm doing my job out here. I refuse to be intimidated. So they were very cross with him. But anyway, Israel was an amazing experience, absolutely amazing. Then after the kibbutz, traveled around, we hitchhiked everywhere. It was very revelatory. It was very emotional. It was wonderful. And my friend Bruce, who had never ever eaten bacon, saw Israelis eating bacon. So he thought, well, blow that, I'm going to start eating bacon now. But it was an I'd never been anywhere like that before. And I'd been to some amazing places because we traveled through Africa by then, but it was very, very moving.